May the words of my mouth and the meditation of each one of our hearts be always acceptable to you, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. In today's gospel, Jesus urges his disciples to stay together and to remember all that he had taught them, that they were deeply connected to him and to each other, even when they felt alone and separated. Near the end of his life, poet, theologian, Anglican priest John Donne, he heard the bells tolling outside his window, announcing the death of yet another person in his village. Thinking that it would not be long before those bells tolled for him, Donne wrote one of his most famous poems, one that is known probably to each one of us. It's about his connection with all of humanity in both life and death. He wrote, "No man is an island entire of himself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main, and every man's death diminishes me because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee." In one stroke of genius, Donne forever places the deep rolling call of the bells as the instrument of remembrance, of connectedness, of intimacy, the oneness of all of humanity. And it's the same for us today. I want to share a humorous story. It's an uplifting, real-life story tied directly to Holy Comforter's history, and I think our place in Lutherville community today. Oh, many, many years ago, the very early part of the church's history, there were complaints about the bell ringing at Holy Comforter. And because of these complaints about the ringing of our bells, the minutes of the very first vestry meeting of our church, the history shows that there was an admonishment of the rector, and I quote, "to take steps to reduce the amount of bell ringing on Sunday to a reasonable volume and duration." Some neighbor thought the bell ringing was just a little bit too much. Perhaps that brand new rector was just a little bit too eager. Well, today we ring the bells to call people to worship on Sundays. We ring it in celebration of weddings. We ring it in mourning, as we did on 9/11 and each 9/11 anniversary that has taken place since. And although the bell, it's remained silent since we worshiped in person in mid-March, it is ringing again each night at 7 p.m. But it's not ringing in mourning the way the bells did when John Donne wrote that poem. No, they ring in remembrance and in thanksgiving of the heroism, the strength, the commitment of our frontline healthcare workers, for all those who are helping to combat this pandemic, for the comfort that they're offering to those who are dying alone without their loved ones or their community to help them transition to larger life. And while we haven't even been ringing the bell for a week yet, would you believe it that we're already hearing from our neighbors? On Wednesday night, we received this message from one of our neighbors, someone in the Lutherville community. And she writes, "Dear Holy Comforter, while we are not generally a church-going family, I wanted to take a moment to appreciate your presence in the neighborhood and your visibly community-oriented approach. The bells each day at 7 p.m., I hope, are not a symbol of loss, but one of togetherness in this strange time. And I've come to look forward to their sound each night. I hope you are well. I hope your members are well. And I hope we emerge on the other side a little more appreciative of small things. That was from one of our neighbors. Our bells toll to remember, to celebrate, to stand alongside the ones who bring comfort to the sick and the dying on the front lines of this pandemic. And in so doing, we're bringing comfort to our community. As the bells toll, remember all that we have been taught about our communion with one another. The bells that we ring, they toll for thee. Amen.